The Forgotten Garden, where something took root that wasn't planted. In the middle of a noisy city block, hidden behind two graffiti-covered buildings and a rusted chain-link fence, was a gate no one noticed. It didn't creak, it didn't shine, and it didn't seem to go anywhere, until a group of kids from the neighborhood stumbled across it while playing tag. Jaden, the unofficial leader of the crew, tugged at the ivy-draped fence. "You guys see this?" Behind the gate was a small, overgrown garden, the kind you'd find in old storybooks. Vines curled like sleeping snakes. A broken wheelbarrow leaned against a stone wall. The air smelled like rain and soil, even though it hadn't rained in days. "Looks abandoned," Nevaeh said, stepping inside. "Let's fix it up." That day, something began. With help from a kind-hearted teacher, Ms. Elkins, the kids started clearing the space. Trash bags piled up, weeds were pulled, and fresh soil was poured into raised beds. Neighbors noticed. Soon, people donated seeds, compost, and watering cans. The space transformed into a bright, colorful garden. Tomatoes dangled like ornaments, cucumbers climbed wooden trellises, and sunflowers waved hello in the breeze. The Forgotten Garden was no longer forgotten. And then, the changes began. A carrot pulled from the ground was the size of a skateboard. A watermelon split under its own weight, nearly the size of a toddler. The spinach leaves shimmered silver under moonlight. Everyone chalked it up to good soil, maybe some leftover Miracle-Gro. But then, the vegetables started moving. A pumpkin twisted toward the sun on its own. Vines slithered between garden rows. One night, Jaden swore he heard the corn whispering his name. Nobody laughed the next day. Jaden, Nevaeh, twins Leo and Luna, and little Elias snuck into the garden after dark. The plants were glowing faintly under the moon, pulsing with eerie light. In the center of the garden, something was growing, something none of them planted. A tall, thorny stalk stood with black flowers that smelled like metal and ash. Its roots cracked the ground around it. Elias bent down and found something buried beneath, a leather-bound book, soggy and humming with energy. With help from Ms. Elkins, they learned the garden once belonged to a reclusive herbalist who vanished 50 years ago. Rumors claimed he dabbled in unnatural experiments, using plants to communicate, to heal, and to control. The kids realized they had awakened something ancient when they tilled the soil. Using pages from the codex, they performed a cleansing ritual, chanting words they barely understood while planting a ring of lavender, mint, and rosemary. The glowing ceased. The thorny stalk withered. The garden sighed. By sunrise, the garden was back to normal. The vegetables stopped their wild growth. The whispers stopped. The codex was sealed in a glass case at the local library, labeled Urban Legends and Local History. But the kids never forgot. They continued to care for the garden, but with more respect. The food still fed families. The team still worked together. But now, a sign hung at the gate: the Forgotten Garden, grown with care. Never disturb the roots.